I'd like to read for you a scripture here to think about, and the impression I had is the treadmill. And I was actually talking to a gentleman this week about this. Is the treadmill sometimes folks get on? Maybe you're one of those. In Galatians, Paul is dealing with people who had begun to go to the various Christian churches and tell them they had to do the law of Moses in order to be saved. And he's dealing with them thinking that somehow doing the law is going to make them righteous. And so here's, I'll pick up on verse 2. He says, "This only would I learn from you. Did you receive the Spirit by the works of the law or by the hearing of faith? Are you so foolish, having begun in the Spirit, that you're now going to be made perfect by the flesh?" And we can apply that today in our own lives, that if you go back to when you were born again, if you're not born again and you're just on the treadmill of life trying to do righteous works to somehow feel saved, you need to be saved. You need to be born again and turn from that, those false works of righteousness of your own, that self-righteousness. But let's say you are born again and you know that time back when the Lord saved you and you were clean and rejoicing in the Lord, and then all of a sudden there's some things that start popping up in front of you. They're called habits and vices and things that you were doing in that old life, and now you're going to conquer them. And I believe the word the Lord is speaking is are you trying to conquer those in the flesh now? Are you trying to do some kind of pulling up your bootstraps now, and somehow you're going to conquer those vices or those things that are plaguing you from that past life that you had gotten into the rut and ritual of doing just because it was sin and it was enjoyable? Now you hate the sin, but you're just trying to get out of those things, and now you're on this treadmill. And the word I believe the Lord would have for you is are you so foolish, having begun in the Spirit? Now remember, you began when you got born again, you were clean. Who did that work? It was Jesus Christ. You came to the end and you said, I can't do this anymore. I'm lost. I need you. And instantly he came and changed you. That's the same way it is with the other stuff. Every day, right, we die daily. We come before God to that wonderful cross, and we lay that stuff down. We say, Lord, I hate this thing, and I know you're going to set me free, and I go out and do your will today. And I've said to a number of young people through the years, particularly with smoking, that's the one that seems to come up a lot, and I've said, is that what God's talking to you about right now? Because they're just going, oh, I hate this, and they're totally focused on that. And smoking for the human body is terrible, correct? Mm-hmm. Not only that, you're defiling his temple, but there may be some other things God's talking to you about right now, and he's not dealing with that this minute. Okay, walk in what God's talking to you about. Get off the treadmill of yourself trying to conquer these things, and walk with God. And the day will come when he'll say, now, stop smoking. And all of a sudden, the power of God is there. And you walk away from it, and it's done. Who did you testify about then? Your willpower, which didn't work, or God's power, which